You know, I still remember that night like it was yesterday, the kind of evening where the air in a fancy Hamptons ballroom feels thick with old money and unspoken rules, and one simple gesture just blows it all apart. Picture this. Ethan Harrington, the reclusive son of real estate tycoon Alexander Harrington, steps out from the shadows, his face half melted from a fire years back, and offers his hand to me, Maya Thompson, the black server who's been dodging snide glances all night while balancing trays of overpriced canapes. And just like that, under those massive chandeliers that cost more than my mom's house, we start dancing to a song his family had banned for a decade, one that whispered memories of his late mom, soft and haunting like a ghost in the room. It wasn't supposed to happen, not in a place like that, where everyone plays their part. The Harringtons as untouchable kings of Manhattan skyscrapers, built on deals that squeezed out the little guys for profit, and folks like me just there to pour the wine without making eye contact. But Ethan had been hiding for so long. You see, ever since that blaze at the Symphony Hall Gala 10 years ago, the one they called an accident but was really a shortcut his dad took to save a buck on safety inspections, leaving Ethan with scars that twisted his cheek like a roadmap of betrayal. I'd felt those eyes on me earlier, not the pitying kind most guests threw at him, but something real, like he saw the way I straightened my back against the whispers. Oh, she's efficient, but does she really fit here? The subtle digs that chipped away at you, born from that quiet racism wrapped in politeness, the kind where they snap fingers like you're a pet, or assume your name means you're from somewhere exotic instead of Brooklyn, where I grew up fighting for every scrap of respect. As we moved across that marble floor, the gasps rippled out like wave champagne glasses clinking to a halt, one lady in pearls actually clutching her chest like we'd started a revolution. And Alexander, oh man, his face turned to stone. He leaned over to his wife, Elena, murmuring through gritted teeth. What the hell is he doing with her? His voice laced with that mix of fury and fear, because Ethan wasn't just dancing, he was defying the empire Alexander had built on image and control, burying anything messy like his son's pain or the shady land grabs that displaced families in the city to make way for his towers. I could feel Ethan's hand tremble slightly, not from nerves, but from years of being told to stay hidden, to let the family PR spin his heroism while they locked him away like a flawed asset. You're the first one who didn't look away, he whispered mid-turn, his hazel eye locking on mine. And in that moment, it hit me. We were both survivors, me of a world that judged my skin before my soul, him of flames that exposed his family's greed. But then the music swelled, that forbidden melody rising like a challenge, and the room cracked open. Alexander stormed the floor, his voice booming over the strings. This ends now. You're embarrassing us all. Step off, son, before you drag our name through the mud, his words sharp as knives, dripping with the entitlement of a man who'd manipulated HOA boards and city councils to hoard power, seeing my presence as a threat to his pristine legacy, not because of who I was, but because I didn't belong in his scripted world. Ethan froze for a beat, his scarred side catching the light. But instead of backing down, he pulled me closer, his grip steady now, and shot back. No, Dad, you've been the embarrassment hiding the truth about that fire. About how you cut corners to pocket more cash, letting kids like that young violinist almost die just to meet your deadlines. The guests murmured, phones out, capturing every flinch. And that's when Derek Lawson burst in, a former tech on the Symphony project, briefcase in hand, his face pale but determined, driven by years of guilt over ignored warnings, the kind of guy who'd lost sleep knowing Alexander's orders had frayed wires and skipped sprinklers for efficiency. Derek slammed those docs on the table, mails with Alexander's signature, blueprints showing skipped safety checks, all tied to land disputes where the Harringtons had strong-armed communities out of their homes, fueling the same greed that sparked the blaze. You knew, Derek said, voice steady but edged with years of resentment. You dismissed my reports because fixing it would have eaten into your profits from those luxury condos, profits built on evicting folks like Maya's family from their neighborhoods. Alexander reeled, sputtering. That's noted, it's twisted, an exaggeration. But the evidence was there, raw and undeniable. His empire trembling as board members shifted uncomfortably, whispers turning to accusations, The irony thick, because here was a man who'd preached philanthropy at galas while manipulating rules to crush rivals out of jealousy and control. The applause started slow, then built like thundersome guests standing in awe, others storming out in huff. But for Ethan and me, it was vindication, a high that crashed into quiet reflection as the night faded. We slipped away, hearts pounding, and in the weeks that followed, the world exploded. Videos went viral, investigations reopened, Harrington Holdings stocks dipped as donors pulled out, forcing Alexander to resign in a tearful presser, mumbling apologies that felt half-hearted, driven more by lawsuits than remorse. Ethan and I, we healed in the shadows and in therapy, facing mirrors without flinching. Me starting a community arts hub in Brooklyn, turning pain into purpose for kids who'd been told to hide their edges. We met quietly, sharing laughs over late-night jazz, building something real amid the ruins. Even as Alexander sent a letter, admitting his failures, pledging millions to safety, reforms not a fix, but a start, born from the shame of seeing his son's strength eclipse his own. And in the end, standing in a park with those kids performing freely, no masks or judgments, Ethan turned to me and said, "We didn't just dance away, burned it all down, and rebuilt better." But here's the thing that still nags at me. Was it justice, or just another cycle Alexander's downfall opening doors for new power players, maybe even worse? What do you think? Have you faced something like this in your own backyard, where money and prejudice collide? Drop a comment below, share your story. Let's talk about what's fair in a world that loves its secrets. If this hit home, hit that subscribe, because stories like these, they don't end. They spark the next one.